So he was like, he looked at me and he was like, man, I have no idea how Chris Benoit could ever do anything like that. And I'm like, dude, have you ever been married? Oh, hey.
Explains a lot.
So he's back. In case you're wondering, does he only hang out with like one pretty girl and a bunch of fat dudes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I do.
We're like all he can get. He's a chubby chaser.
Yeah. Most people get sick of me after about 5-6 minutes, and these are the only people that can tolerate me for more than that amount of time. So
yeah,
I hope we cannot figure out a good position for this camera, so I'm sure it's going to be all tilted. We're going to look like Batman villains.
Yeah.
But so we just saw Glass.
And
I'm with you. The Steve Austin theme didn't start the movie off, so I was pretty pissed.
I was trying to find it. I can't even find it. Why the fuck does Demi Lovato come up when it's fucking when you search for Stone Cold? What kind of shit is that?
Have you seen Ted 2 yet?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Every time you turn on the computer, it's Black Hawks. You look at Demi Lovato. Anyway, so we just saw Glass, and I'm really excited for the sequel, Window. Or the prequel, Sand.
This was a really shattering experience.
Dude, you know what? I'm Broken by Pantera should have played at the very end. That would have been great.
That would have been great.
I'm broken! So, I think the last time we did the Shyamalan film was Split, and I think we kind of gave our opinions on Shyamalan, so I'm not going to go into that again. I've done that on my channel enough, where I'm like, yeah, half his movies are great, the other half are fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
So this is a sequel to both Unbreakable, which is my favorite of his films, and Split, which is like my wife's favorite. And a lot of people, I love Split. It was in my top 10 when it came out.
I love Split too. And I don't care what anybody says. Fucking James McAvoy.
Best actor.
He's the best actor in the whole world, period.
He's my favorite performing today. He's, in my opinion, of the people that are out there, McAvoy is the best actor.
Yeah. And in this, he plays at least 25 different people.
I think it's 23, like 23rd personality is the Beast. I'd have to watch Split again.
There's a lot, and he runs through them almost all in this movie. He's on top of it, and they're all different, and he lets you know they're different.
Each one requires different stamina. He'll change his acting style 5 times in 1 minute.
Yeah. He looks exactly the same for everyone, but you can tell who they are. And especially when he's a beast, because he takes his shirt off every time.
Yeah, his shoulders get all popped up, and he's all beefed out. Like,
yeah.
This movie is really divided critics. Like, some people absolutely hate it. Other people are saying it's great. Some people are like, oh, it's fine, but it's disappointing. I found it dragged at moments, but other than that, I liked it.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't think that it was bad at all.
No.
Like, yeah, it could have taken a little bit of time out here or there just to speed it up, but I thought it was, it was fairly intense, and it was a good conclusion to the movies. Like,
well, and if you wanted to, we're not going to spoil this one, but at the end, I mean, they could keep going if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But it closes the story, but it leaves the option to open for a new one involving the characters who were there at the end.
Yeah. Which, that's pretty cool. I think that the different kind of superheroes and shit that Shyamalan could come up with would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Because they're not just like your run-of-the-mill comic book superheroes. They're crazy, fucked up kinds of people.
Yeah, they all come from a place of trauma, which is kind of true for a lot of comic book characters.
Yeah.
Superman, the destruction of his planet. Batman, the murder of his parents. I mean, I guess every superhero... Wonder Woman is exiled for sticking up for Steve Trevor. I mean, I guess they all come from a place of trauma and hardship. So I don't know. It follows that. Samuel L. Jackson was awesome in this. I mean, he doesn't have to do anything to be awesome, but
and he literally did zero things at all for at least the first half of the movie.
Oh, the first like 2/3 of the movie, he used to sit in that chair.
He did anything like a twitch. His face twitched. That was the extent of Samuel L. Jackson's acting abilities in this movie, and he still played it awesomely.
And Bruce Willis in this movie, like in the last couple years, man, his movies have not been that great. He's done a lot of garbage. He's done a lot of those movies where they just like shoehorn him into like a part of the film and like write it around him. And he gives these like phoned in lackluster performances. This is the first time in years I've seen Bruce Willis really be awesome on screen.
Yeah.
Even though it's obvious when he's got his hood over and he's running like that is so not him. Like James McAvoy, they show you his face. He's really doing a lot of that shit.
Oh, yeah.
But Bruce Willis, no. That was just a double.
That's all right. He's like 1,000 years old. Did all those Die Hard stunts. Probably not, but he used as an excuse.
He walked through broken glass for you. Hey, callback. The movie is structured really well. I mean, I will never take away Shyamalan's ability to create atmosphere and to really get you into what you're in. I just don't care for some of his subject matter, but I'll never say he's been a bad filmmaker.
No, the filmmaking in this was excellent.
I mean, like, the story was good, but I always, like, separate story and filmmaking, and this was a really well-made film.
Yeah.
Even the parts that were boring, like, this is the kind of movie where a lot of it's shot in the dark, but it makes sense. And you can still tell what's going on. And when you can't tell what's going on, it's because that's building tension.
Yeah.
It's not just because they just didn't feel like lighting the room.
And the music for everything really, really got you into it. Mm-hmm. Like the suspenseful parts with the suspenseful music was like, yeah, come on, something happened, do what you're going to do. And it was always pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I could nitpick some things about this movie. Like, I don't think it was as good as Unbreakable or as good as Split, but it's still better than most of Shyamalan's films. And I mean, this is one I definitely would see again. I liked it. Most of the acting really carried this movie, and I really like Sarah Paulson in this movie, the head doctor.
Yeah,
like, I'm a fan of hers anyway. Like, she was in Bird Box, and she was really good in that.
Yeah,
and she's done a lot of movies that she's been really good, but this is like the best performance she's ever given.
Heck yeah. I definitely want to watch all three of them in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see how that goes. Like, because it's been a while since I've seen Unbreakable, and it's been a while since I've seen Split.
Unbreakable I saw about shortly before Split came out, but I've seen Split again since it came out on Blu-ray, so it's been probably a good year and a half since I've seen Unbreakable, but it was only a couple months ago I saw Split again. And it holds up. It's one of those movies that it's just as good the second time around. See,
I know they were shoehorning in a few things that I should have knew what they meant, but I really couldn't place it.
This is definitely one I want to see again, because there were some things that I was confused about at the end, but I have a feeling if I watched it again, it would be like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I know some of those things, I should know what they're
the tattoo on the arm, like that means something. Well, I won't spoil what that is, but there's guys with these, all have matching tattoos on their forearms, or undersides of their forearms.
Yeah.
And I won't
means something for sure.
Mm-hmm. It might be one from one of those other shitty movies.
Yeah, you never know. I don't want to go back and watch every Shyamalan movie.
If I never see The Happening again, it'll be too soon. I absolutely hate. But his worst movie is The Lady in the Water. That's the worst thing he ever did. I mean, I would sit through fucking The Village again. I know a lot of people like The Village. I fucking hate that movie.
Yeah.
And like, I think Sixth Sense is fine. And I like Signs, but for all the wrong reasons. Because Signs is an incredibly stupid film. It's just so entertaining. It's like half the movie, you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to. It's in the Shyamalan reverse.
Yeah, they're aliens. They get killed by water. It doesn't have to make sense.
And they can't break through wood for some reason.
Swing away, Jimmy, or whatever the fuck your name is.
I can't remember. I don't remember Mel Brooks. I don't remember Mel Gibson's character from that name from that. That's the one thing about his movies. I never remember the characters' names.
Yeah.
Like this one because we just saw it, but I guarantee you tomorrow I'll be like, wait, what the fuck was that guy's name again?
Guy's name? Nah, yeah, I won't remember.
But I mean, I'll give that to him. The way he focuses things, it's like, their name's not fucking important. What's going on is what's important.
You know the character. You don't have to know their name.
And the young girl that survived Split, and I think that was her in the Visit too, I really like the Visit. She was fantastic. That little girl's going. Well, I shouldn't say little girl. She's like 22 years old now, but she's going places.
Yeah, all the way. Oh, it was enjoyable for sure.
Yeah, worth $7. I mean, for sure. I liked it.
Yeah, us and the 3 other people that saw it in the giant theater.
Yeah, we were in the big theater there. I think there's like 150 seats in this theater, and they sat right behind us, and we were like the only people there. There was like another couple at the top, but
yeah, there was not very many people in there.
No, but this is one that, I mean, his movies are really low budget, so he only spent like $20 million to make it. He's already made that back.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good.
So I recommend it. If you're not a fan of if you don't like anything Shyamalan's ever done ever, you're not gonna like this movie because it does have a lot of his tropes, but it has the good ones.
If you
Tell
don't
your phone to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, phone. Put that on mute. I had it on mute in the movies. I was a good movie person watcher.
I always turn my shit off. I turn it on vibrate. I'll look down in my pocket and see if it's anybody important. But I never just pull out my phone like, hey, everybody, look at this light distraction.
Hey, look at this. Yeah, I don't do it either.
So we'll talk about the trailers, and then we'll talk about our walkout. And so we'll get to that in a second. The trailers, let's see, we got a longer Captain Marvel trailer, and that movie looks awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
What else did we get?
Lots of stuff. Like 5 more.
We did get a ton of trailers.
They were all like pretty popular movies. We got Happy Death Day 2.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. I love the first one so much.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I'm thinking.
Just like, yeah, we saw some trailers. They were for movies that come out in the future.
Yeah. Nothing like particularly that stuck out. What could Captain Marvel?
They were all like mainstream kind of movies.
The new Jordan Peele film.
Oh yeah,
I think it's just called Us. It's the dude that did wrote and directed Get Out. That looks weird, but it looks like he's got a really good eye. I really like the way Get Out was made.
That does look really weird, but it made me like creeped out and want to see it. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll see that.
It looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pet Cemetery.
Oh, the Pet Cemetery remake.
Yeah.
A lot of people are worried about this. A lot of people are hating on the fact that, one, it's been like 30 years. It's okay to remake Pet Cemetery now. I like the original, but it was never like some super classic. You know, it's not like Back to the Future or one of those that can't be remade.
The main thing that bugged me about that trailer is like they go to this just remote cabin in the woods. It's like 5 million miles from anywhere, and they're like, get out, it's all peaceful, quiet, like, look at this house, it has an entire forest as a backyard. Bam, 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 bam. A fucking semi-truck goes by about 3 feet from the side of the house. Like, okay, you didn't fucking know there was a mega superhighway right next to your house.
How did you get
fucking there? Like, come on, at least in the first one, the original, like, there was a big old yard and a hill and stuff that the stupid ass kid had to run across to get ran over.
And you can see, if I remember correctly, in the original, there were people that lived like, I mean, they weren't like right next door, but they were like a couple hundred feet away.
Yeah. Like, I didn't like that. I'm wondering how they're going to explain that away.
But I mean, I'll see it because I'm not. There are some movies that I don't think should ever be remade, but that's one that I'll give it a chance. I mean, apparently Stephen King had a lot more involvement in this one than he did the last one. I've never read the book. That's one of his few books from that era, from like the 80s and 90s. I never got a chance to read Pet Sematary, so I don't know how faithful the original was. So I don't know.
I remember reading it as a kid, but I don't remember how faithful it was to the book.
Oh, real quick, there's one other thing I want to say about Glass. I just remembered. There's an orderly in the movie that gets killed. And my God, it takes him fucking 5 minutes to die. And he's in the background just dying on one of the characters. I won't give away who or wow. I was started chuckling. I couldn't help it. I was laughing. And I know the people behind me were probably like, what a sick bastard. Because it was like he just wouldn't stop dying.
He's just nonstop dying.
You see his arms moving around. You're like, fucking die already. You know what? That's the one bad part about that scene. That whole room would have been filled with blood from him flailing around. There's
what
blood
about
everywhere.
what about the fucking security of that place? Because those dead bodies just laid there for like 8 hours and nobody even noticed till like the next person showed up for work.
But even when somebody did notice, it's like they didn't do anything. They didn't go in there.
They're like, oh hey, that guy's dead, huh?
But anyway, so as we were walking out of the theater, we both went to the bathroom, and we come around the corner, and yeah, another fight's about to break out. This time it wasn't in our theater; it was in the hallway.
Northgate Theater, Coleraine, yeah, get your ghetto on.
And he, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, I'm going to call the cops. Is what I'm going to do. And he's like, oh yeah, well do it. Call the cops. I'm like.
It was between like obvious rude customer and the fucking manager of the place. They obviously had gotten thrown out of the theater for something. They were trying to go back in, and the guy's like, "No, you have to leave." He's like, "What you gonna do?" I'm gonna call the police on you. Oh yeah, well fuck that, man. All right, well don't come back. Well, what you gonna do about it if I do? I'm gonna call the police on you. like, don't you understand? Police will come. They will say, don't come back here anymore.
No, I was waiting to hear like cop cars some rolling up here because somebody got the shit beat out of them, but it didn't happen.
No.
This wasn't as cool as the fight that broke out in our theater. That was a year and a half ago when that happened.
Yeah, that was the best one.
That was one of my highest viewed videos on YouTube. We talked about the movie for 5 minutes, and the rest of the 12 minutes was talking about the fight. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That was a pretty good movie. Or that was Rise.
The fight was better than the movie, though.
The movie was awesome, but
yeah, it was. But, yeah. You'll have that sometimes. If you ever come to Coleraine, you'll learn why.
Something about this town, people move here and they just instantly think they just want to fight everybody. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Stupid asses.
At least it's not Hamilton.
It's true.
The only difference, we have a lot less meth. That's pretty much it. A lot less meth. I'm not saying we have less heroin, but there's a lot less meth than...
I don't know. I think it's just more spread out because it's a bigger area.
And the people in Hamilton, they already know that. They sit on their porches and do it. Here, they at least have the decency to go inside.
Yeah, they at least try to conceal it.
Neighborhood watch told us we have to do our meth inside, so, you know.
Those bastards. Who they think they are watching that neighborhood.
All right, well... Yeah, go see this one. I don't know what the hell we're seeing. I don't know if you're seeing anything next week or not. I forget what's playing next week, but there's something. There's a bunch of cool shit coming up.
What's going on?
Like we got How to Train a Dragon coming up.
Yeah. Happy Death Day.
A couple months is gonna be John Wick 3.
Yeah, we got to see that.
Fuck yeah.
That's gonna be awesome. He's gonna revenge his cat this time.
This time they killed his hamsters. They stole his hamster's hamster ball, so he's just gonna murder everybody.
He's just gonna kill the whole town.
You stepped on my pet spider.
Can't wait to see it.
They took his dog. They stole his car.
So he comes back and he shoots them in the face. Every single one of them. Every single time, even if it's unnecessary. Yay.
All right, well, that's it. We'll be, I don't know. We'll do something next week. Bye.